Dividing a document into sections allows you to format each section using different page layout settings. In this lesson, you'll customize the status bar, insert section breaks, and format text in columns. We want most of the text in our report to appear in 2 columns, and when we're finished, it'll look like this. To do this, we created this new section that's separated from the rest of the document by this section break. We then formatted the text in the section into 2 columns. Let's get started. In step 1, so that we always know what section we're working in, I'll right-click the status bar, and at the top of this menu, I'll click Section, so that a check mark appears here. Then I'll click outside the menu to close it, and down here, the status bar now shows that the insertion point is located in Section 1. And since we haven't yet divided the document into sections, the whole thing is actually Section 1. In Step 2, I'll click the Home tab, and then I'll click the Show or Hide Formatting Marks button. This will make it easier to see the section breaks that we'll insert. Now in Step 3, I'll place the insertion point before this General Considerations heading, which is where we'll insert the section break. Then I'll go up and click the Page Layout tab, and right here in the Page Setup group, I'll click the Breaks button. In the lower half of this menu, you can choose 4 different types of section breaks. The Next Page option creates a new section that also begins on a new page. But we just want to insert a section break that starts on the current page. So in Step 4, I'll click Continuous. And this continuous section break is inserted just above the heading. And by the way, we wouldn't be able to see it if we hadn't turned on the formatting marks. Also, down in the status bar, you can see that the insertion point is now located in Section 2. We want the text in this new section to appear in 2 columns. So in Step 5, in the Page Setup group, I'll click the Columns button. In Step 6, we could choose this preset style to create the 2 columns, but we want to customize things a bit. So at the bottom of the menu, I'll click More Columns, and the Columns dialog box opens. Next, in Step 7, I'll click 2, and then, here in the Width and Spacing section, I'll click the Spacing Down arrow twice. This means the 2 columns will be separated by a space of 3/10 of an inch. And here, you can see that each column will be 3.4 inches wide. I'll click OK. And now Section 2, which is most of the report, is formatted in 2 columns of equal width. In Step 8, I'll click the View tab, and I'll click the Multiple Pages button. It's not easy to read at this zoom level, but the text flows automatically from the bottom of one column to the top of the next column. I'll scroll down, and you can also see that the report now fits on 4 pages instead of 5. Now I'll press Control Home, and then I'll save our changes. To try these steps yourself, and for some helpful tips, to see a table that describes the 4 types of section breaks you can insert in a document, and to learn about changing page layout settings for a section, turn to page Word 80 in your book.